What if the difficulty you're trying so hard to escape is actually bringing you closer to Allah? Sometimes we look at a difficult period in our life and immediately think something has gone wrong. We make dua, but the situation doesn't change. We try to fix things, but another problem appears. And eventually, we start asking ourselves, why is Allah letting this happen to me? But Islam gives us a completely different way to understand hardship. The Quran tells us that believers will be tested with fear, hunger, loss of wealth, and loss of life, while giving glad tidings to those who remain patient. Notice something important. Allah doesn't say that a believer will never experience hardship. He tells us that tests are part of this life. That means difficulty itself is not proof that Allah is angry with you. Sometimes, the test is exactly where your faith becomes real. It's easy to say you trust Allah when everything is going according to plan. But what happens when the answer to your dua seems delayed? What happens when something you desperately wanted disappears from your life? That's where tawakkul becomes more than a word. You continue doing what is right, even though you cannot see the outcome. The Prophet gave a powerful description of the believer in Sahih Muslim. When something good happens, the believer is grateful, and when hardship comes, they remain patient, and in both situations there is good for them. Sunnah. That doesn't mean a Muslim has to pretend that pain doesn't hurt. You can be sad and still have faith. You can cry and still trust Allah. You can be exhausted and still turn to Him. Patience in Islam isn't simply sitting there and doing nothing. It's refusing to let hardship destroy your relationship with Allah. And sometimes a difficult situation changes you in ways comfort never could. A person who once took their prayers lightly may suddenly begin praying with sincerity after going through something painful. Someone who rarely made dua may discover that the hardest night of their life was the night they finally learned how to speak to Allah. A person may lose something they thought they couldn't live without, only to realize later that their attachment to it had become stronger than their attachment to their Creator. This is why we should be careful when judging our own hardships. We see the event. Allah sees the entire picture. You may only see the door that closed. You don't know what was behind it. You may only see the delay. You don't know what that delay is protecting you from. You may only see today's pain. You don't know what that experience is preparing you to become. And this is where patience becomes powerful. The Quran tells believers to seek help through patience and prayer, reminding them that Allah is with those who are patient. So when life becomes heavy, don't make your first question, why is Allah doing this to me? Try asking something different. How can I respond to this in a way that brings me closer to Allah? Because you may not be able to control what happened, but you can control where you turn when it happens. You can make dua instead of giving up. You can pray instead of allowing despair to take over. You can remain patient while still taking the practical steps needed to change your situation. And perhaps one day, when you look back, you'll realize that the chapter you wanted to escape was the chapter that changed you the most. The difficulty didn't mean Allah had forgotten you. It may have been the moment that taught you how much you needed Him. And sometimes, the greatest blessing isn't that Allah removes the test immediately. It's that He gives you the strength, patience, and faith to walk through it without losing Him.